down here at the bottom left-hand corner of Entombed Valley, we have our red Terran player from Team SEV Life. It is Polt. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner of the map, our blue player from Prime, up 4-3 in the set, just one game away from taking Fight Club. It is Creator.
It's going to be very interesting to see what strategies both players come out with in this particular game. Now, we've seen a lot of players, when they're one game down, Kevin, might want to try and go for a little bit of cheese to throw off their opponent and tie the series up and then go back into a macro game. I wouldn't be surprised to see something funky come out of one of them. However, Creator is in a position now where he can just win one of the remaining 2 games and be crowned Fight Club champion for this week.
That's right.
So I'm more inclined to say he might go for maybe some very solid one-base play just in case there's some sort of cheese coming in from Polt, but definitely not an all-in of his own, at least not early on in the game, or if he did, that would just be a massive risk, one he probably doesn't need to take right about now.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, we'll see what the strategies end up being here. We saw Polt in the last game. Coincidentally, the only other game that he built his barracks off to the side like this, potentially to leave room for an add-on, was a game that he actually decided to get gas on as well. Polt, of course, built a reputation initially when he was going through the GSL Super Tournament. He won that. It was actually the only tournament after the Opens to be worth $90,000 for a first-place prize. So certainly set him off on the right foot in terms of playing StarCraft. But did decide to get gas. This go-around, it looks like he is going to opt for a 1-Rax gasless fast expand once again. Creator, though, I don't know. All eyes are on him now. He's cheesed in the last few games, but like you said, I think he's going to try and play things a little bit more standard.
I completely agree. The way he was able to pull back from failing with that proxy gate in that last game must have given him such a confidence boost, Kevin, that he would just be really, really confident of himself right now, and he would just go, well, you know what? I think I can take Polt in a macro game as it currently stands, because that last game, as far as an opening was concerned, based on the amount of damage it should have done, was technically a train wreck, and I still came back from that. So why not just try and take him out in a straight-up macro game? And that could be what we're seeing here from Creator.Prime. Going to be grabbing his second gas now as well, so he'll be looking to tech up reasonably quickly.
Kind of interesting. The only map of the map pool that hasn't been picked yet, of course, we have 9 maps for a 9-map pool. I believe that's where we're at right now, is ESV Cloud Kingdom. So if we're forced to a 9th game, that's where it's going to be. But usually you see, actually, Sandstorm Mist has kind of been our least picked map up to this point, and it's already going to be gone. So thinking forward to the future, if we end up going to game number 9, it's interesting to see where these guys have picked their maps and what sort of strategies they're going for. This is a pretty good choice, though. Out of this and Cloud Kingdom, that's the point I was trying to make. I prefer this map. Oh, excuse me. Just pardon me. Going to run right on through and scout your base for a second. This is a good map choice, I think, out of Polt, considering what he had left. Given the fact that there's so much open space here in the middle, it limits the effectiveness of those of Sentry Force Fields plus Colossi, or really any sort of AoE. So just being able to flank with bio units is a lot more effective here, and I think that Polt made the wise choice.
That's right. When you go into this particular map, it's really good if a Protoss is either defending or attacking. Because you're defending, there's a lot of cliffs, there's a ramp, force fields will be useful, Colossi will be incredibly useful. If you're attacking at your opponent's base, the same thing applies. You can try and split up an army with force fields. The Colossi will be able to see above the ramp, and therefore your opponent won't get that much of a superior concave to you. However, everything in between, like you said, out in the middle of the map, almost Tal'Darim style, you just don't really want to be engaging right there if you're planning on going force field heavy in your lineup, because at the end of the day, bio flanks are just going to be really, really powerful.
Yep, very true. Now, we've seen some players like StarTale.Polt comes to mind. I remember back during the dreaded GSTL game that lagged out and was forced to be reset. Marine King ended up coming back and winning the next game. But in that first one, Parting actually exhibited some unbelievable control with actually some storm flanks. He was able to hide some Templar around the outside of these little cliffs in the middle while his main army engaged through the front. So maybe we'll start to see a similar sort of thing prepared from Creator.Prime as well.
Oh, the number of storms in that game was ridiculous. I
That's
mean,
true.
wow, like, you could just fast forward to any point in that replay and there'll be a Storm graphic going on somewhere on the map. That was such an amazing game. And like you said, a little bit of a pity it ended the way it did. But hey, I believe there were very senior Blizzard people in the audience as well, looking a little bit red-faced afterwards. But fortunately, the show did go on without too much of a hitch after.
That's true. I was, it was funny, I was emceeing the GSTL finals then, and everyone was coming up to me like, so what are they deciding? I'm like, I'm not involved in the administration of this. I don't know. Interesting to note, though, they were actually anticipating on awarding the win to Parting, and then it was protested by the Prime team and Marine King. That's why he was running to the back, and they ended up awarding a regame. But anyway, here we go. Looks like Polt now does Polt. But
there we go.
He gets his SEVs force fielded out. A lot of units are trapped right now. Creator going to continue to try and put on some pressure.
No.
He is able to do so. These Marauders are slowly attacking and starting to whittle away the relatively fragile sentries, but a lot of workers have been lost once again, and Creator.Prime is just going to keep pushing through.
And a little bit of a theme from this series, of course, Kevin, pulling those SCVs to repair the bunker. This time, Polt able to do that in time, but the force field's just too good from Creator. And now he is going to be sieging up the natural. Polt is going to have to float it back into his main base. Creator now up 62 supply to 39 and continuing those warp-ins as well. We do have a reactor and a starport going down for Polt, but medevacs aren't going to come out anywhere close to fast enough for the front being barreled down here. Excellent force fields once again from Creator.Prime. Those Marines in the back unable to do anything despite the fact that they're stimmed. And it looks like Polt might be going down here. We could be seeing a new champion.
We'll find out. Creator just continuing to rally in more units now. The supply depot starting to get pretty low. Trying to repair those up as quick as possible. He needs to be able to pick off a couple of those SCVs. Looks like he will finally start to do so. Some of his attack units have gone down, but he does have vision of the high ground, of course. So he will be able to whittle away those Marauders ever so slowly. 22 workers to 42 at the moment. More than double the supply now for Creator.Prime. And it looks like he just wants to push his way to victory right now.
Yep, more and more units going to be joining in the back. All Stalkers, of course, going to be able just to walk in and pick off any units that stand in their way. There are a small force of Marines and Marauders in the mineral line right now for Polt. I like this decision from him, trying to block off the top of the ramp with the factory. But the fact is, the supply difference is just so huge right now. Excellent drop on the factory. The Zealots actually getting completely caught out there. Beautiful from Polt, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. 64 to 30 supply now. Creator.Prime is more than twice the supply of his opponent, and he says, you know what, if you're going to drop a building my way, I'm just going to go straight through the middle of it. The factory going to be going down in a few seconds, and I don't think there's much else Polt can do, even lifting the factory to allow those SCVs to tank a little bit, but more and more Stalkers coming in the back. One excellent force field. Going to be moving a couple of those Marines and Marauders towards the back there. The first medevac pops out and immediately gets shut down. The second one also going to get picked off here. Ooh. Yes, it does. And 3 Stalkers now going to be moving back. It looks like Polt finally holding it off. But the worker supply, as it currently stands, Kevin, is just absolutely staggering in favor of Creator.
That's right. 17 workers to 53 at the moment. Creator is going to lose most of his attack forces, so he will need to defend the semblance of a counterattack, I suppose. There's not actually that many units that are sitting out there right now. So as it stands, Creator can pretty passively play this out to victory if he so desires. And when I said passively, I meant 7-gate push for the win with Blink.
Well, why not? We do have those pylons out in the middle of the map as well for Creator. One of them is going to get spotted and taken down from Polt. The problem is the other one has not yet been spotted, and that should seal Polt's fate. I would not be surprised if Creator mainly warps in front to defend, and then just warp in 3 or 4 Zealots at that forward pylon just to give Polt a little bit more of a headache. If he kills off any more workers, of course, Polt is definitely a dead man on the grounds that his worker count is just woeful compared to Creator's at the moment. What a beautiful timing attack from our Protoss, and look at this, preparing the concave, getting a couple of Zealots in front. He is completely prepared for this push.
Yes, he is, and Blink is going to finish up here in 25 seconds, and what is that Twilight Council? I don't even know, but find out here in a bit, as it looks like Polt wants to try and make his way through, but there are so many units sitting around. I just don't know what he can do against this force, especially now that Blink is done in 3, 2, 1, finished.
This is going to be absolutely huge for Creator.Prime. He is on the verge of winning IPL Fight Club. In fact, the attack isn't coming, so he is going to bring the noise to Polt here. A decent amount of stutter stepping going on, but the concave is definitely better for Creator.Prime. Blinking backwards as well. Excellent micro from the Protoss player right now, and he is just going to take the time out to kill the factory, but he is more or less going to be able to push all the way back to Polt's base right now. Polt does not have the army to deal with this right now. As soon as those Stalkers blink back, and we have the couple remaining Zealots going to be forcing the Marauders and Marines to kite. The medevacs are going to get sniped off here. 2 go down. No, only 1. The second one just about hanging on, but way too many Stalkers in this army composition. And we have some Warpins at the forward pylon from Creator, because to be perfectly honest, it's just faster to go via there. The army goes down. All but one of the medevacs go down, but there's nothing for it to heal, Kevin.
No, not at all.
And I think Creator is about to take this series.
Only 4 Marines on the field, and that